All right, music fans, welcome back. Harmless Dave here, talking real music in real time for some real people out there just like you and just like me. Hey, when I get a guest, a high quality guest on, it's always just a nice little reprieve from all of the drama and all of the gossip. And there's been a lot of drama lately with certain bands, but not as much with Foreigner lately, except the fact that they're quitting, which is kind of a sad thing. But this gives this particular drummer and his band an opportunity to fill a void. I haven't had a lot of guys with three names on. I was trying to get David Lee Roth. He said no. I have had Jeff Scott Soto. So there you go. There's a guy with three names. And now I've got Michael Scott Nelson, otherwise known as MSN to most of Northeast Ohio. Say hi, everybody, to Michael Scott Nelson. How are you, sir?
Good morning. I am fantastic, man. Thank you so much for that intro. You've given me more credit than I deserve, but I appreciate it nonetheless. Good morning. I hope things are well in Southern Florida.
Yeah. We had this little hurricane roll through, but thankfully I'm inland, but that doesn't, negate all of the damage and destruction along the shore. And those people, pray for those people, because it's insane what they've been through. People walking around with shopping carts with their stuff in it, because they got nowhere to go. It's not all that way, but there's some of that. And but anyway, we're heading into Thanksgiving here. This is going to be the Thanksgiving Day special with Michael Scott Nelson. His new, is this band new? How new is Hot Blooded?
So Hot Blooded has officially been around about a year. There have been some various member changes since it started, and it's brought us to the lineup that we have today. So, as far as an official launch, we're probably considering 2023, the launch of the band. But they've been around about a year, played maybe four or five gigs. And like I said, we did some member changes, but we're happy to say 2023 is probably going to be our launch year. That's what we would call it. Yeah.
Cool. Now, just for the audience, in case they don't know this, and this goes back a few years, I first met Michael when he was a drummer for this band called Escape. And Escape obviously is a Journey cover band, or tribute band, I should say. The cover, but be careful, Dave, don't say cover. The tribute band thing. And now you're in a Foreigner tribute band, your bandmate, one of your bandmates, is Troy Sands, who used to play keyboards for Escape. So it's kind of like, a couple of guys from another band getting together and, going from Journey to Foreigner. Are you more looking forward to this material, this amazing catalog that Foreigner has?
Absolutely. Growing up on the music of both bands, when I think back of the influence that each of those bands had on, whether it was my drumming career or just, turning a young man into adulthood, the memories are, in the thousands. I could go back to, I Want to Know What Love Is was the first song I ever slow danced with anybody to, but for my wedding, one of my songs was Sweet and Simple from Journey. So the music of both bands have influenced me in one way or another over the years. Each of these bands, to try to play the music correctly, has its own set of challenges. Obviously following up like a Steve Smith or a Dean Castronovo, to play that stuff spot on is difficult, takes a lot of work. The music of Foreigner, probably less technical, but what a groove. Oh my gosh, in some of those songs, you just get a chance to just really lay back and just slam a great groove. So I'm really looking forward to that. But both have their pros and cons for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. I was looking at the set list here because you sent me some merch, a little bit of stuff here.
Embarrassing, a limited amount of what we have.
That's a pretty impressive list of songs, though. I was really pleased to see the song Break It Up. I don't want to get on a tangent here, but, people forget top 40 song, big song on rock stations, gone. Nobody plays it. Don't hear it. I have no idea, what gets in the mind of radio programmers and the people that run this entire, music scene for old folks these days. But good set list here, or possibilities. You can play all these songs. There's some Lou Gramm songs in there as well. So I'm taking it your lead singer can bring it. Is that a fair assumption?
That's a beyond fair assumption. Paul Vision, our lead singer, that was the last member change that we did. And we did it almost 2 months ago. And it came at a time which was not convenient for launching a new band. We had just recorded a tremendous show, video and audio, and we were assembling our promotional materials. And then we had to change singers. So now we've spent all this money and all this time getting good promo edited, and we can't use it because the new guy's not on it. And I don't think it's fair to him. I don't think it's fair to the guy that was on it. So we're like, man, what are we going to do? So we had this opportunity to play a music conference. It's a convention. It's called the OFEA, Ohio Festivals and Entertainment Association. And they have it every year in Sandusky, Ohio. It's a weekend. We rented a booth, right, with this kind of stuff behind us. Yep. And we were fortunate enough to be selected to play a 20-minute showcase. So this was the first time with the new singer, basically in the biggest job interview you could possibly have. You're playing in front of all these people that book the festivals throughout the state. So we thought, well, let's set up a GoPro and see how that goes. You know what I mean? No pressure, but we got to capture some footage. And we had some fan shot footage. So really, there's not much out there with Paul. There's 4 songs. There's 20 minutes worth of stuff. So what we'll do is New Year's Eve, we have a really, really big show coming up at a great place. We're going to bring another camera crew out. We're going to the audio. And that's why I'm saying that we'll probably really launch in 2023 realistically, because that's when all the new promo materials will be available. So that's the plan.
Yeah. Now, our tickets.
Question, he brings it. He's phenomenal, Paul. When you hear him, you'll definitely know what I'm talking. He's got that soul and that guttural movement about his voice. He's a total pro. Cool.
Now, you said big show New Year's Eve. Are tickets available for that show still? Have they gone on sale yet?
So I'm not one of those guys that gets on there and goes, oh gosh, man, we only got 2 tables. The last I heard, they sell them in groups of 4 or 6. They're selling tables. So you'd have to buy like a table for like $240, but it's 4 people.
Oh.
The last I heard, there were several left, the day before Thanksgiving, which is where we are. So, but you'd have to check. It's called the King of Clubs in Columbus, Ohio. Mm-hmm. And they sell their tickets through Eventbrite. So if you just, go through that or however you need to do it. But I don't think that it's sold out. It probably will, because the 2 bands that are playing there are pretty well known in that area. So,
yeah, I mean, you got Journey and Foreigner together. I mean,
yeah,
that would be, I'm always wondered why, those 2 bands never, maybe back in the day, they probably got together. But even recently, I know Journey and Toto is a great combo, but, all of the Journey fans pretty much embrace all of the Foreigner music and vice versa. So it's the stuff we grew up with. Do you have a favorite like Foreigner song, either that you like to listen to or that you like to play drums to?
Long Way From Home is great. We have so much fun doing that. The versions of the songs that we do aren't necessarily ripped from the album. Mm-hmm. Foreigner did a show in 2008 at Chicago Soundstage. You can look that up on YouTube. Anybody wants to see it. It's with Kelly Hansen. Phenomenal. And Jason Bonham on drums. So I was obviously a huge fan of the way play these songs. The arrangements are they're so Bonham-esque, it's sick. So the way he does Double Vision and the way he does Long Way From Home, I was just like, that's what I would have done. That's so cool. So, that was yesterday's great. It's simple. It's a groove. I'm just going to run through the list here right off the top of my head. Blue Morning, Dirty White Boy, we do great, which we call Dirty White Troy, by the way. he's going to kill me for saying this. But we'll be in rehearsal and we'll come to the chorus and sing, and I'll just say, Dirty White Troy. Hilarious. So.
That is.
Doc Troy, we love him.
Dr. Troy Sands. I forgot about. How could I forget about good doctor? Huh? Yeah, not too many doctors in rock bands, man. That's good.
This one kills it. He kills it for sure.
Yeah, Kicks. They could have used a guy the other night like Troy. Sorry
about that.
to bring that up, but
No,
yeah, he's
I heard
doing,
about
by the way, the guy's doing okay. So
Oh, good.
that's good news. But in any event, yeah, I'm looking at this set list again. All of these songs, this is what makes Foreigner such a threat, like when you go out and see them, because you don't know, what they're going to, they have such, even the deeper tracks, which again, because I'm the radio junkie, I'm the old radio programmer, I'm not afraid of album cuts. Some people today, oh no, that's, they're not going to know this song. I'm going with Foreigner. I mean, Foreigner 4, I know I wore out the cassette, and I'm pretty sure I had the album sitting on my turntable, with Escape, and then Foreigner 4, and High Infidelity, all these records that were out at that time. Moving Pictures, I think, was out. I mean, all of these things, and I'm sitting there, and it's just amazing. We lived through some of the greatest, and let's just be honest, I don't think we'll ever see this level of great songwriting, melodic rock production, guys like John Mutt Lang, producing, and just Mick Jones as an arranger and a producer. And it's kind of sad. What was your reaction when you heard Foreigner is, this is going to be their last tour next year?
It caught us all by surprise. I don't think anybody saw it coming. Usually, there'll be things leading up to somebody sick or there's inner turmoil in the band, and you can almost see the inevitable end.
Yeah.
Didn't see that with Foreigner.
No.
They were kind of doing their thing. And then all of a sudden, Mick Jones is like, I'm not really sure if I want to do, and I was like, well, I can appreciate that.
Yeah.
Truly, because I think when you're done, you're done. And he made a great point about saying he wanted to go out on top. He wanted to go out when feeling like the band was still on fire. And I mean, I think if you're going to go out, that's the way to do it. Don't go out because of a lawsuit. Don't go out because you got fired. Don't go out on top.
Did you say lawsuit?
I said the L word. I did. I dropped that in there. You can edit that out if you need it. No, good for them. And Kelly Hansen said it too. I believe in an interview that the video that you released recently. He going out and singing those songs every night is tough, and he doesn't want to be the guy that was like, oh, at the end of his career it was terrible. I think Kelly Hansen personally still has so much more life in him. If he wanted to pursue something else, he will kill it for a long, long time.
Yeah.
I think he'll kill it for a long, long time. I hope to see him, honestly, fronting.
Yeah.
A band
I mean, look, I know there's a little bit of controversy out there, and I addressed some of that about a month or so ago. Lou went out there, and Lou's a legend. I love Lou Gramm. I think Lou is probably my top 3 or 4 singers of literally of all time. I mean, I love his voice in his prime was one of the greatest musical instruments for a voice, just insane. But, Kelly has done a spectacular job. And, to complain and say, hey, Kelly sounds too much like me. And people out there saying, yeah, he does. He's doing, your voice here is you got a certain vocal lick or inflection or the phrasing and all that. And I'll tell you what, if you're gonna take over for somebody, I think the fans are expecting this band to still kind of sound like they do on the radio or they did back in the 80s or whenever. So, I mean, if that's the only criticism you're going to get, that you sound a little bit too much like the guy who, used to be in the band, I'm thinking to myself, okay, job well done. That's what I'm thinking.
Sure. And I think, what I like about Kelly too, is that he doesn't, when you watch him perform, he's not trying to be Lou Gramm. Like, he's not trying too hard, as it were.
Right.
He's doing the job that needs to be done.
Yeah.
He's fronting that band beautifully. Pilsen, I think, does a great job too. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I think all those guys are wonderful. They had Brian Tichy on the drums for a short time too. They've had a slew of amazing players. Mm-hmm. But Kelly, I love the fact that he doesn't try that hard to emulate Lou. Lou's Lou, let's face it, and Kelly's Kelly, right. And they both work. It's the peanut butter and the jelly that make the sandwich, for real. They're coming from 2 different spaces, and wonderful. Yeah,
and one complaint that I get from people is that Kelly's, like, some of his mannerisms are more like Steven Tyler than anybody else, and I okay, but again, it's every, like you say, they're different personalities. I'm sure Kelly grew up watching all of those guys, and he found something that he felt comfortable with. You mentioned that this band has had some great players. You mentioned Jason Bonham, who is just, he's out with Sammy Hagar these days still and sounding amazing. I mean, I don't want to go off on a tangent, but Sammy Hagar's band is just Vic Johnson. I start talking about Vic Johnson and then I kind of lose my mind and lose my train of thought. But I mean, you obviously have to have really great musicians in your band, in Hot Blooded, to pull this off. So you've got to have a great guitarist. You got to have a bass player that knows what they're doing here, because this music has, like you said, has a groove, has kind of a bottom end. I think that's all Mick Jones, the way he produces and writes. And he's always had this sort of what I would call a passive obsession with R&B music. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I mean, didn't he bring in like, wasn't Junior Walker the guy who played the sax on
the recordings?
Yeah. Or at least on Urgent.
Sounds right.
He played the sax on Urgent, I believe. Motown legend. So here's a guy who gets all of that music and kind of, you know, hey, we're not really an R&B band per se, but we got a groove. I mean, so you guys must have some great players.
I think we do. You know, when I think of Foreigner, I don't think of them as a guitar-driven band. You know, a lot of their stuff, at least the real super popular stuff, was keyboard-driven. You know, so and orchestrate multiple levels of keyboard, piano, strings, all the things that they incorporated. But that doesn't mean you can't have a shredder on the guitar. Yeah, and we absolutely do. He goes by the name of Frederick Han Solo, our very own Star Wars Jedi Master. He's great. Han Solo is phenomenal. He organizes all of the stuff that people hate to do, the inner rigs and getting our equipment right for the stage and talking to the front of house engineers and making sure that it's all right. We do use some tracks because we don't have a live saxophonist all the time. So he handles all that. He's in the process of setting up a large video presentation. So when we play, it'll flash the album, maybe a couple little anecdotes and things like that to keep the show interesting. So he does all that. He's a master of that and a super, super nice guy and a phenomenal player.
Yeah. Now, you guys are based out of Northeast Ohio near Cleveland, right?
That's correct. Yeah.
Yeah. Any aspirations to take this a little more, nationwide, or are you just going to stay kind of local?
No, absolutely. It's funny that you mentioned that because Paul Vision, our lead singer, he spent quite a bit of time on the West Coast doing some singing and some acting. And he knows quite a few people in the business. And again, it's all about getting that product ready. So the promo video and those materials are going to help us in 2023. But yes, there's absolutely talk of getting into Vegas to some degree. West Coast stuff down by you for sure.
Nice.
We're working with a couple of talent agencies that are interested in booking us up around that area too. So far we've gotten tremendous interest. The boys were dumb enough to let me book the band a little bit. So I've got calls. I'm talking to a lot of people and just spreading the word. It's tough to sell the band though when you only have a 20-minute fan shot video. So maybe we put the cart before the horse, but we like to think that the live show is going to speak for itself. It's just a great rock band. It's just an energetic, fun rock band. Really
cool. Well, I mean, that's all you can ask for. If you go out, you want to spend a night out, maybe take the wife out. And if you're a wife, maybe you want to take the husband out. Maybe it's a good idea, get some tickets before they sell out. Might be a good holiday gift, to see this band. Sure. I am just a big fan of keeping this music alive, whether it's the older music that needs to maybe be, reproduced by a different vehicle. You know what I mean? Like at some point you have no Foreigner. At some point, maybe soon you might not have Journey. you've got a lot of bands out there who, you know, are on their last leg. Like they have one original guy and it's a little bit iffy. And you can go down the list of all that. So this industry, this business of starting a tribute band in the year 2022, I think it's a great enterprise. Now you have a story in case people don't understand the skill set of Michael Scott Nelson. You were fairly close to being in a very popular national artist that broke big, but fate would have it that you didn't, you know, make it into that band. Tell us the story about that.
Well, there is a rumor going around, and we know how we like rumors on the show. No,
yes, we're all about rumors.
I am so proud to tell you that my older brother is a co-founder of a band called Buckcherry. And a very popular band back. They broke in the early 90s.
Yep.
And I'll just take you back a second. I have to tell you a little bit of the backstory. We lived in Western Pennsylvania. That's where I grew up, just outside of Pittsburgh, a little town called Beaver Falls, Pennsylvania. And I had an uncle that owned a house broken up into 3 apartments. My brother and I shared an apartment. I was still young. I was 17. He was maybe 21 at the time. I got an offer to move to Atlanta, Georgia, play music. Mm-hmm. So I moved to Atlanta. And then shortly after, my brother was like, you know what, I'm going to go out to LA. I'm going to do this. I'm going to make it work. So he went. So we went our separate ways. No pun intended. And fast forward a couple of years, it was time for me to come back home. I had to get my head right. I had to get my life straightened out. And my brother, this was before they were even Buckcherry. They were called Sparrow. They didn't have a record deal at the time. They were still playing this, you know, the strip and all the clubs. And had gotten a call about something. They couldn't find a drummer. They were having a heck of a time keeping a drummer, finding it. And my head just wasn't right, Dave. I mean, I went through such a change of life at that time, and I'm really trying to figure myself out. And had I gone out to Los Angeles at that time, we would not be having this conversation. I feel fairly confident that it would have eaten me up and spit me out. Yeah. So I passed on the opportunity to even audition. And of course, they went on and did quite well for themselves. Fast forward a few more years, they're completing a tour with, I think, AC/DC, 2 or 3 nights sold out, Madison Square Garden, every rocker's dream, right? That's something. Yeah. I get a phone call about 4 days before the show. My brother's like, listen, you know, our drummer's father's very sick. He's possibly on his deathbed. I need you to learn 15 tunes in this order. There's no rehearsal. You'll show up at sound check and you'll fly home and I'll thank you forever. And so I took days off of work. I'm learning the Buckcherry music in order, you know, everything he told me. The night before I would have flown out, the drummer's father pulled through, thank God. Yeah. And the drummer stayed to do it. So that was that opportunity. So there's been a couple near hits there, just misses. And it's all good because had I done those things, I wouldn't have a wonderful daughter. I wouldn't have the beautiful wife that I have, my children, my grandchildren, all those things, you know, God sets up to fall in a certain way. And I'm so thankful for the way it turned out, believe it or not. And we joke about it all the time and it's all good. And it is what it is. Good story. And the way you tell it, and it even has like a moral component to it at the end. I mean, you don't hear guys in the music industry, you know, thanking God or anything. That was just good to bring that in. And it's good for people to know that, you know, maybe other things in life might be more important than, you know, sure, maxing out the company credit card. You know what I'm saying? Just throwing it out there. So, big plans for 2023. Do you have any other gigs lined up? Anything else you want to add to this? Because this is really exciting for you guys. So, I mean, there's probably 164 irons in the fire. Right. I think when you play a conference like that, or you have a chance to go to a convention and you take down all the information, right? You meet these people and everybody wants a quote. How much would you charge for a 2-hour show? How much? So there are a lot. We have so many lines in the water. It's crazy. Got a couple bites back. We booked 2 or 3 shows out of that. So that's great. And then a lot of these festivals will start getting their budget together in the first quarter. So we won't hear from them until January, February. And then we can solidify the bookings for the year. So we're kind of in a holding pattern. We're rehearsing our show meticulously. And if I could can I introduce the rest of the guys in band? Do you want to know about them real quick?
Yeah. Let's hear everybody's
about
name. It's only fair, right? You shouldn't get all the publicity here.
No, listen, and the only reason, because I love these guys, honest to God, what a brotherhood.
Yeah.
What a true brotherhood. We have so much more in common other than, hey, we're in a band together. It's amazing. And it's, I'm 50 years old, and it's taken me that long to connect with people that it's more than the music. And so I'd love to tell you about them. So obviously, Dr. Troy, right, on the keyboards. Yep. We have a history together. He actually reached out to me and said, hey, man, we're looking for a drummer. Is that something that you want to? I wasn't doing anything at the time, and so I jumped all on it. Which brings us to Han Solo, our guitar player.
Yeah.
As soon as Troy called, Han texted me, dude, do you like Foreigner? I'm asking for a friend. It was like this whole thing. On bass guitar, we have Sean Wright. He's such a gentle soul, dude. Long hair, right? He's the only guy with the long hair. Yeah. And he's just in the pocket, man. Everything a drummer would want a bass player to be, that's Sean Wright.
Nice.
And a super nice guy on top of it. Paul Vishen, our lead singer, I got to bring him up one more time because he's so talented. When you hear him sing, he embraces Lou Gramm, but he's hanging on to Kelly Hansen. I can only say that it's just he's right there. He's right.
Wow.
There. And if you look from afar, he's even got some curly hair. You might even say that's a young Lou Gramm, from far away. Nice. Not trying to be it. It's just the way he is. Hey. So we're so happy to have him. Our crew, you remember Linda from back in the day. She's going to be our merchandise director. She's on board.
That's awesome.
She's got to sell more than the cheapy koozies and all this other stuff. But we're working on shirts and the whole gamut, everything. So she's going to join the family again.
You get me, you get me a shirt, like you know how much I like shirts. You get me a shirt, you're going to get free publicity. People are going to go, what's that band? Because people will send me messages saying, hey, I love that shirt yesterday. What was that? And
sure,
it's
absolutely. But Jimmy, our road crew guy in security, he's phenomenal. He's in our family. I knew him from the Escape days. And last but not least, our front of house engineer, TC Timmy Cable. He's the chairman of the board, is what I call him. He's a magician. He's worked with bands like Foo Fighters. He's been on the Shania Twain gig for a while. 40 years of experience from Nashville, and he's relocated to Ohio. And
sweet.
He's phenomenal. He's definitely the sixth member of the band. So we've got such a family, such a tight knit group, and we intend to keep it that way. We're gonna not, we're always gonna be humbled, and we're not gonna let the drama get in the way. It's easy to do, even at our level. Drama and poison can inflect the camp, even at our level.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to have to be doing videos about, hot blooded next year, massive drama fallout, drummer loses his mind, or something.
Well, that's a possibility. However, I don't think it'll be drama like I've ever experienced before. These guys just have it together.
Yeah, well, you guys won't be turning gigs down. I'm pretty sure.
I hope so. I hope you're right. Yeah, I hope.
Yeah. But it's and it's just great to have you on the show. So what are you doing for Thanksgiving? This is going to be airing during the big turkey eating celebration tomorrow. Although I think people should be thankful in addition to all the food, but that's another video. What are you up to tomorrow or today?
Well, my wife and I are empty nesters, if you can believe it. Our children have grown and they're moved out and they've got families. So
how did you're only 50 years old. I mean, how did you manage that one?
Man, we grow them young around here. We get busy early.
Wow.
No, I mean, I had children in my mid 20s and my wife had them in her early 20s, and they just, they grew up.
I got you.
That's just how it worked. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
To answer your question, my wife and I decided to put our house up for sale the other day. So we're in the process of people coming to the house, looking at the house. Mm-hmm. So as far as having a full-blown Thanksgiving dinner, we opted out of that this year. Normally, her and I are in the kitchen at 6 a.m. and we're putting together the beast of a feast, no doubt about it. But this year's a little different because our circumstances are a little different. So it'll probably just be her and I. The kids might pop in a little bit, but we're going to keep it low key. We're going on vacation in 2 weeks anyway. We don't want to dirty the house up. People are coming through to look at it. So it'll be low key, but we'll be together. And that's what I'm most thankful for. Just being with my wife. We're happy. We're healthy. I'll see the grandkids who I love and see my children who I love. So Dude, what a good time to be alive. I know we talked about it off the air. Really, in spite of everything that's happening in the world, how much we hate it.
Yeah.
You know, dude, we have our health and we're alive. And you got to make the best of every day, you know, truly. And we do. My wife and I have no problem just embracing all the beautiful qualities of life, really. Just stop and smell the roses, man. It's not that difficult, you know, just stop and smell them.
Man, I need to have you on speed dial, dude. I mean, this is good stuff. I mean,
anytime you want to, dude, I could go on for hours about my blessings and the things that I've been blessed with.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there is a lot of just absolute crap going on in the world, and the culture and all of the crazy, just, I don't, again, this is supposed to be a positive video. This is Thanksgiving Day is when this is going to air. Michael Scott Nelson from the new up and coming foreigner tribute band called Hot Blooded. Website. What's your website? Tell the audience.
Okay. I don't have it. It's hotbloodedtribute.com. It's pretty simple. Hotbloodedtribute.com. Facebook is Hot Blooded CLE for Cleveland.
Yep.
And you can reach us at hotblooded@gmail.com. And you'll probably be reaching me directly through that email. So that's great.
Yeah. So if you want to book these guys, that's how you get a hold of them. And you know, based
public,
on
private, corporate,
yes, everything, and based on what I know about you and Troy alone, I would highly recommend this band, and I haven't even heard them yet. So that's we're
not going to disappoint you. We won't disappoint you. It's a great show put on by great guys. I mean, it's all positive. I don't see how it could be any better, really.
Yeah, and it's drama. It's drama free. Yeah, that's
and
important.
It's drama free.
All right. So your whole thing here is interrupting all of the drama I've been reporting on for the last couple of days. So this is a good break for everybody. You sit down, have a nice meal, watch some football, take in this video, and hopefully, you know, share this video with your friends and tell them about this band, especially if you're up there in the Cleveland area. But maybe, you know, we'll see you guys down in Florida someday.
We're hoping so. We're hoping so.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Nelson, for being here. God bless you and your family and your kids and your grandkids.
God bless you too, man. Thank you. It was a true pleasure. Always a pleasure to see you. Congratulations on all your success. I've watched you grow from this to this.
Yeah.
And it's just been a pleasure to watch. Keep doing what you're doing, David, because it's so important to have that person out there that isn't afraid to talk about the truth of things.
Yeah.
We miss it. You're in a perfect environment for it. God bless you too. You're doing wonderful. Congratulations.
All right, man. Thank you so much.